Hey everyone, it is your girl Alicia coming to you with another video. I hope and I pray that this video will bring some wisdom, some knowledge, and some clarity to those of you who may be dealing with a controlling person. So, today's topic, we are going to talk about 7 signs you are dealing with a controlling person in your relationship. So, my questions to you are: is there ever a time where you feel connected to an individual where, whether it's spiritually, emotionally, maybe it's physically or mentally, that they are always embarrassing you, humiliating you, or making you feel less than what you are? It seems like there is always a need for them to be involved, or they can call the shots over everything, whatever you may have going on. They always want to be the leader of it. If this is you, you may be dealing with a controlling person. One thing I want to point out is that a controlling person is a control freak. They exhibit obsessive behaviors that can be detrimental to your well-being if you do not set boundaries. With a control freak, they have no boundaries. One thing we must be aware of is that a controlling person is not always your spouse. A controlling person can be anyone. Just to name a few people, or it could be your spouse, as I said, a parent or a caregiver. It could be a church leader. It could be a boyfriend or a girlfriend, a boss or coworker, a sibling, and the list can go on and on. But today we are going to focus on that control freak in your relationship. A relationship, as we know, is built upon two people coming in agreement in a companionship. In a relationship, you have to have mutual respect. You have to have mutual emotional support, open communication, trust, honesty, love, support, and so forth and so on. But unfortunately, not all relationships is built upon these things, which is why we're going to talk about 7 signs to know you are dealing with a controlling person and how to take back your control. So let's dive into this. Number 1, a controlling person constantly criticizes everything you do, from the clothes you wear to the way you wear your hair, the way you talk, the way you communicate with other people. It may be the look on your face. Why are you looking this way? Why are you looking that way? Why are you looking? It can be anything. Maybe you have picked up some weight or lost some weight, and they always have something to say. Girl or boy, look at you. You need to lose some weight, or you need to gain some more weight. They will always attempt to undermine your confidence. You'll find them always having the need to tear you down towards anything. They often complain about almost everything and everyone. I don't care who it is. They always have something negative to say. They rarely say anything positive to say about you or anyone they come in contact with, whether it's done publicly or privately. One thing we must recognize when we encounter people like this is that they are not happy. These people who try to control other people are so unhappy with themselves. They are unhappy with the lives that they live. They live in total misery. So what better way for them to try to control someone else, because they lack self-control themselves? Misery loves company, right? Number 2, they are always trying to tell you what to do and how to do it. For instance, let me show you. Well, let me tell you. You may have a job that you are content with, maybe not 100% content with it, but you're satisfied in some way, right? Your significant other, on the other hand, may feel that you deserve so much better than the job that you are, currently working in. Or maybe they feel like the pay is too low for you. You deserve better. Maybe they feel like you working too many hours and you need to slow down, right? Maybe they feel like, okay, I don't want this person, him or her, working at this job. So what they do, they start putting in applications for you. They start telling you what jobs you need to apply for. They start telling you what jobs you should or should not be working for. And when you don't follow their lead, what happens is they start to complain, right? Not just complain, they start to nag in your ear about you steady being on that job and in that position, right? And so when you run into a situation on your job and you start to complain to them about what's going on that job, because again, you should be able to communicate with your significant other. 9 times out of 10, when you start complaining to them, they tend to get upset. They start pointing the finger. They start telling you they don't want to hear it. Sometimes they even shut down on you and they throw in your face, you should have done what I told you to do. If you have ever experienced this, you need to understand that you are dealing with a controlling person in your relationship. Number 3, they absolutely love to keep score. They love to remind you of what you did and what you did not do. One example would be something they wanted you to do, but you didn't do. So you'll find them saying, I told you such and such, but you did otherwise. Now look at you. Let's say that when they love to remind you, let's just say that you were saying that you were going to go somewhere. They tell you, you know what, you don't need to go to that place because of blah, 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 blah. You make the choice and the decision to go anyway. You come back, you complain about, oh, this happened when I went so and so. They're mad. So now what happens is next week or the next day or 2 weeks from now, they throw it up in your face. They're keeping score of everything that you did that they did not like. Number 4, everything becomes your fault. Everything is your fault. See, a controlling person blames you for everything, even if you did nothing, even if you had nothing to do with it. Let me give you an example. They forget to pay a bill. Okay, well, I'm going to use myself as an example. Leisha, can you please remind me to pay this bill next week? You forget to remind the person to pay the bill. Now, what you'll find is that they are blaming you because they forgot to pay the bill, but it wasn't your fault. But they're blaming you and making it out to be your fault because why? You didn't remind them. So everything becomes your fault. The lights get cut off. It's all your fault. Something happened, the car get hit. It's all your fault. Had I not been arguing with you, or if you would have drove or did this, everything becomes your fault. Number 5, they try to keep you from being around the people you love. Ooh, this is a pet peeve. Everything is always about them. They want you to go wherever they want you to go. They want you to be around whoever they want you to be around. But when you throw out suggestions and tell them, hey, I think we should switch up a little bit. Maybe we should go to my friend's house or my people's house. And they don't want to do that. They want to go where they want to go, when they want to go, how they want to go, and they don't want you to do it. And they don't want to do it with you. They want to do everything by the way that they want to. They want you all to themselves, and they try to keep you from the outside world. And for instance, you may have some friends that you want to go out with because some of you may be moms. Some of you may be dads. You want to go and hang out. You're married. You want to go out and hang out. You want that one day to yourself, and all of a sudden it's manipulation starts to take place. Let me try to manipulate the situation to get you to stay here, so that you don't leave. Oh, my stomach hurt, or it's always something. They try to keep you from being around the people that you love. Number 6, they can't accept no. Oh my goodness. When there's something that they want you to do and you don't want to do it, and you tell them no, you flat out say no, they will throw a tantrum. They will try to manipulate you into doing whatever it is that they want you to do. This can be sexual advances, something they want from you or want you to do. It can be whatever it is, you're telling them no. They have a hard time of accepting no. They cannot accept no. When a controlling person is told no, what you will find, they maybe get enraged. They may become extremely angry. They may start calling you names. They may just go way out to manipulate you by going to buy you some flowers or going to take you shopping just to get you to say yes. They try to manipulate everything. Number 7, they try to intimidate you. See, one thing about a controlling person, they will try to intimidate you with their presence. They may try to intimidate you with aggressive behaviors. They try to intimidate you by using verbal and physical abuse. This goes back to accepting no, when they become enraged, when they become so angry, and then they try to intimidate you. This goes back to that manipulation. They find a way to manipulate you, almost like a narcissist, right? Whether it's raising their voice, you like, wait, why you mad? Like, hold on, why you screaming? They may punch a wall. They may start calling you out of your name if you in a verbal altercation with them, because they're trying to control the situation. They may even go so far to throwing things or knocking things off the table. They may start to threaten you. They may be threatened to leave you. They try to manipulate any way that they can. Some people may go so far in relationships to withholding sex from you. They may start taking things away from you like you a little kid. There are so many ways that a person who is a control freak will go out of their way to make you feel intimidated. So when we start looking into our relationships and we start to see these things, especially in the beginning, you're getting those red flags. You may have to step back and ask yourself, is this something that I want to continue to deal with, or should I just shut it down right now, right front and center? Because what happens is sometimes you start getting deeply involved in relationships. Maybe it's a marriage, maybe it's just a relationship that has formulated, maybe it's something that you guys are establishing that is a mutual commitment to each other, but then one person becomes overpowered by the other person. So you have to ask yourself, how do I stop this from happening? Sometimes we become so deeply involved in situations that it's hard. So I want to say to somebody, if you are dealing with a controlling person, I like to call them control freaks, you, number one, have to first establish boundaries. How do you establish a boundary? Basically, no more. When you get to the point you say no more, I'm not accepting this no more. Either you change or I'm going to have to walk away. Number two, you have to be willing to walk away if they are not choosing to work on changing themselves. Because one thing we have to remember is that we cannot change anybody. They have to be willing to change themselves. We can bring it to the forefront of their minds and start to tell them and share with them how we're feeling and how they are making you feel, and start pointing out those things, and then setting those boundaries to say, hey, I'm not going to let you control me no more. You're not going to tell me what to do. If I want to go do this, I'm going to go do that. And if you can't accept it, that's something that you have to work on within yourself. It's not me. Number 3, get involved in counseling, marriage counseling if you're married. Get involved in individual counseling if you have to. Get involved in counseling, period, if you're in a relationship and you're trying to establish something and you want to work through it. Get involved in counseling. Share your story with the counselor and help them to give them the story so that they can help you maneuver through what it is that you guys may be going through. Sometimes we have to share our story with other people. It does not mean you go and tell the world. It don't mean that you tell any and everybody, because you can't trust everybody. But I'm sure it's somebody whom you may trust that you can communicate what you're going through with that person or with those people, so that they can help you navigate through what it is that you're going through. And I say share your story, because there may be somebody else who may be going through the same thing, and you just don't realize it until you start confessing what you're going through to the next person. And number 4, take back your control. How do I take back my control, Alicia? You take back your control by, again, establishing those boundaries. When you start to establish those boundaries, that's when you start to take control. When you are able to say no and stand on it. I'm not going to take this no more. You would not control me no more. And I want to say that when a person is controlling you, they are literally, listen to me, they're manipulating your mind. Not only that, but they are also doing everything that they can to criticize you, to make you feel down, to bring upon low self-esteem. We have to be able to recognize when we are in a relationship that is unhealthy. When a person is being controlled by another person, that is the most unhealthiest thing ever. Why? Because it starts to cause stress. It starts to cause anxiety. And as we know, that stress is a silent killer. And as long as we continue to deal with it, we're steady internalizing all of these feelings and emotions, and we're not doing anything about it. Because why? We're trying to save face. We're trying to stay in this relationship, not realizing that it's damaging us. It's literally damaging our self-esteem, our self-confidence. We have to begin to shift and make changes for the better. So I want to say to you, if you are in a controlling relationship, not only recognize the signs, but be willing to do something about it. I hope this video has helped you in some way, shape, or form. There are so many other signs that you can know that you are dealing with a controlling person. I just chose to choose these 7 signs. But there are so many ways. The signs, it's ridiculous, when you look at them, because a person who usually tries to control another person, that's because they're dealing with some internal issues themselves. And what better way, again, to reverse it and flip it on somebody else? So I hope this video was helpful or is helpful for somebody, and you are able to take these steps, be able to identify where your relationship fall, if your relationship may fall into this category, that you're willing to do things to get back on the straight and narrow, where you're not being controlled by somebody. And so I hope and I pray that you were blessed by this video. Until we meet again in the next video, bye. Thank you for tuning in to Woman of Divine Inspiration. If you have been blessed by this video, I want to invite you to like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, please feel free to email me at womanofdivineinspiration@gmail.com. Thanks for tuning in.